Hello and welcome to the tutorial for the little box that houses our Santa Love mini album. So this album just fits right into here, and I'm going to post the link to this album, to the tutorial for this album right below this video. So this is a separate tutorial. In this video, we're going to learn how to make this cute little box. It's got some nice little wooden legs on it. It's all constructed out of chipboard, so it's extremely sturdy, and we're going to do it right from scratch. We're going to make the whole thing. We're going to create our cute little scene on the front here. So this is using the Santa Love collection from Rosa Kelly. So I'm going to link that below as well. And then I'm going to link you to the cutting guide to my Etsy shop so that you are able to get everything cut and ready and then start on the project. So it's going to have the cutting guide for this box and for the album, and it's all going to be in one cutting guide, and you're going to have your paper, cardstock, mats, everything, all your scoring details are all going to be in that cutting guide, and that'll be linked below as well. All right, guys, let's hop into the tutorial for this cute little box. All right, guys, so let's get started on creating the box that our super cute little album is going to go into. So this process is going to be much the same as it was when we wrapped the our album, when we wrapped the chipboard for our album. It's going to be very, very much the same. So you are going to need 2 pieces of your chipboard that measure 5 by 6 3/4. You're going to need 1 piece that measures 2.5 by 6 3/4. Then you're going to need 2 that measure 2.5 by 5. Okay. To wrap your 5 by 6 3/4 pieces, you're going to need 2 pieces of your lightweight pink cardstock that measures 7 by 8 3/4. You're going to need 2. To wrap your 2.5 by 6 3/4 piece, you're going to need a piece of your lightweight pink that's 4.5 by 8 3/4. And then to wrap your 2 pieces of your chipboard that are 2.5 by 5, you're going to need 2 pieces of lightweight pink that measure 4.5 by 7. This is all going to be in the cutting guide that's linked below to my Etsy shop for ease of use for you guys, okay? So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue all of my chipboard pieces to my pattern paper just so they can all dry, okay? So I'm going to get started with my big pieces first. So I'm again just using my Beacon 3-in-1 glue here. And I'm just going to glue it to the center of my pink piece. So I'm going to glue all of these onto their coordinating pink lightweight cardstocks. All right, guys, so I've got them all glued onto their cardstocks. So I'm going to start by wrapping my 2 large sections first. So remember, we just kind of slowly bend the cardstock over the chipboard and we burnish all the way around. Just like so. And then we're going to cut off our corners. Like I said, this is very, very similar to when we wrap the book. So just cut across those corners. And I'm going to grab my glue, and I'm first going to put a little bit along the chipboard and then up onto my flap, and then bend it over, and then I go with my fingers first and then with the bone folder, and then you can square off that edge. So we'll just keep going and do the rest of this one, and then I'll do the other one as well. That's the same size. We've got our 2 pieces, our larger pieces, wrapped. So now you're going to grab your long piece. So this was the 2.5 by 6 3/4 piece of chipboard. And we are going to do the same thing we did with our spine for the book. You're going to fold over your short end over here. And then I'm again going to grab my other bone folder that has this nice edge here, and I'm going to make a nice crease right in here, right along my chipboard underneath. Same thing for this side here. Just get your nice crease. And again, this just helps it all to come together so much nicer. And then grab your glue, put it along your chipboard, a little bit down the side, and then all over your flap here. And then again, go first with your fingers, and then you can go with the glue. And because we've with the bone folder, because we've burnished all of that, it's just gonna happen so much easier when you go to get the glue down. Same thing on this side. Just go with your fingers first, spread that glue out, and then you can go with the bone folder, just like so, okay? So now we're gonna cut away. So now we can fold over here. Again, just like we did before, fold over. On this side as well. And then grab your scissors and cut just about as much as that crease is along your chipboard, okay? About that much space away. All the way around. Just like this, okay? So now we'll put these 3 pieces aside and work on our little side pieces, okay? So these were our 5 by 2.5 pieces of chipboard. So what we're gonna do with these is first go ahead and fold over your cardstock on all 4 sides. Fold it over your chipboard. Just like so. All right, so now we are going to cut our corners all the way around. So again, leave your little bit of space. So cut those corners. Just like that. Don't worry if you got one that's kind of like this, that's all it's gonna get covered up. All right, so now what we're gonna do is just glue one flap down, okay? Just one of your short sides. So I'm adding my glue here. And I'm gonna fold it over. If you got any glue coming out, that's fine. Just kind of wipe it away. And then you can burnish. So as long as this edge down here is covered, that's all you're looking for here. And then, yeah, burnish. And then you can square off that edge. And then that's it for now for this piece, okay? So same thing with this one. All right, so now let's go ahead and get all of our pieces attached together. So our 2 larger pieces are going to hinge to the 6 3/4 by 2.5 piece on both sides here. And then the 5 by 2.5 pieces, we're gonna use this little hinge down here to attach it to our 6 3/4 by 2.5 piece, okay? So let's get started with this. So these 3 pieces are going to get attached identically to how our album was put together. So we're going to fold over one of these edges. I'm going to grab my art glitter glue and then just attach it right along one of the long sides of my larger pieces, just like this. Then you can open it up, burnish it down. All right, and then same thing for this side. Just fold over this edge. And then get your glue on there. And then just attach it to one of your long sides. And make sure these edges are lined here, okay? You don't want one taller than the other, you want them to be flush. And then we can open this up and burnish it. All right, so then grab your two smaller pieces. So one is gonna hinge here and the other one's gonna hinge down there. So I'm gonna add my glue to this piece, my little flap here. And I'm just gonna put it right here, aligned with that edge. Just like this. All right, and then the other one, give that a quick burnish. The other one's gonna go on this side, okay? So add your glue. And I like to just fold over these sides just so I can see what I'm doing. Then you can pick it up and adjust it however you need, just like this. All right, so before we close it up, I want to attach all of the construction strips that I can attach before it's closed, okay? So for these two long sides here, you're gonna need two strips that are 6 3/4 by 1 inch, and on the 1 inch side, you're just gonna score them in half, okay? So I'm gonna fold this over first on my score line for both of them. And again, like I said, you can just fold these in half. You don't have to actually score them. So then gonna miter from this score line down, not into the score line, just from the score line down for both of them. Just like this, all right? Then we're going to attach them right alongside our chipboard. So add glue to one of those sections, one of the 1/2 inch sections, and then just attach it right along your chipboard, just like this. Then you can add glue to this side. And just bring it over and attach it to this side. Then you can do a little bit of burnishing, and then the same thing over here. All right, then for these two shorter sides here, I have two strips that measure 2.5 by half, that measure 2.5 by 1, and on the 1 inch side, you're just gonna score them at half an inch, okay? Just in half. All right, and then just fold and burnish those. And then we can miter. So again, just from the score line out, never into our score line. Just like so. All right, and then add glue to one of your 1/2 inch sections, all the way along it, and attach it along, we'll let's do it along the chipboard here so it's easier for us to see where it goes. So along the chipboard, just like that, and then you can add your glue to that, bring it over, and burnish it. And then same thing on this side. Add your glue. Put it right along your chipboard, just like so. And then on the other side, and just bring that down. Just like that. All right, and then we're gonna add our piece of cardstock here to cover the bottom. This is the only spot we can cover right now because we have to put it together and finish adding our construction strips before we add the rest. So this piece measures 2 1/4 by 6 1/2. And I'm just gonna use my Fabri-Tac or beacon. Get it closer to the edge here. And then just put that in to cover this whole section down here. Just like that. All right, so now our sides are gonna come up like this, and then these two sides will come up, and then that is how our little box is gonna close up, okay? So I'm gonna start on this side here, and I'm gonna add my glue just to this flap for now. So I am gonna use my art glitter glue and just get it all over this flap. And then just bring it up so that they align on the side here. And then I can lay it down and press inside of here. And use your bone folder if you'd like. And just really get that glue pressed into it. And then that's what your edge should look like. So same thing for this side, add your glue. All over that flap. And then just bring your side up. And then you can lay it down. And just press it on. On the inside. Right, and then same thing for the other side. So just add your glue to one of these. All right, and that's what creates our little box. All right, so now let's go ahead and add our construction strips. So I have 4 of my lightweight pink that measure 5 by 1. And on the 1-inch side, I just scored them all in half at 1/2 inch. And I'm just gonna go ahead and fold and burnish all 4 of them, just like so. And then we will miter them just like we have been doing. So just from the score line and down, not into the score line. So just from the score line out, and you can go whichever way is most comfortable for you. Just like so. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue to both sides of one of my construction strips. Okay, then I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it right down into the corners of my box. Okay, so once you've got it in there, you can go ahead and burnish it down into it. All right, so that is what it should look like. Okay, so you're just going to do that in all 4 corners. So that's all of our little construction strips attached in here. So now what we're going to do is just finish covering up the inside of the box. So for the 2 larger sides, you're going to need 2 pieces of your lightweight pink that measure 4 3/4 by 6 1/2. And then for your shorter or your narrower sides, you're going to need 2 of the lightweight pink that is 4 3/4 by 2 1/4. Again, this will all be in the cutting guide for you. All right, so add the glue. I'm again just using my beacon, and I'm going to place it right in here just to cover everything up nicely in here. Just kind of So that is the construction of our little box. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and embellish the outside of our box. So the first thing I want to tell you about, for the bottom here, for the bottom of the box, I have these little, they're like little spools. I think this is the little bag. They're from Doris, Craftwood Quality Natural Wood Products, and it just says spool here. There is a number there if that helps you at all. I don't even know where I got them from. They're just in my embellishment bag. And I'm just going to hot glue one of these in each corner for my box, but I'm going to do that after I embellish it. Okay, so this is the bottom of the box. All right, and then either one of these panels can be the front of your box. So for the back, I have a piece of silver cardstock that measures 6.5 by 4 3/4. And then for this panel, there's another panel that's 6 1/4 by 4.5. And then I just have one of the super cute little journaling cards that comes with the journaling cards and ephemera set. And that's going to go just in the center here. So this is going to be the back of my box. And then for the sides, I have a piece of silver cardstock that is 2 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then I have a white mat that's 2 by 4.5. And then I have a piece of my pattern paper that's 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. And it's going to be the exact same measurements for the other side of the box, okay? And then for the front, I again have a silver mat that's 6.5 by 4 3/4. And then I have a piece of my pattern paper that's 6 1/4 by 4.5. And it's going to go right here. And then I've just done some fussy cutting from the collection and a little bit of die cutting. So I have this snow globe die that is going to go on here. Again, I'll link it below for you guys. So it's this snow globe die, and then I cut it, the bottom of it, I cut once out of silver and once out of white, and then I layered those together. And then I stamped Happiest of Holidays right here. And then I also used a snowflake border die on this little piece. And then I basically just placed it on here and cut around it so that it would fit. So that's going to go on here. And then this panel is going to go down here. And then from the collection, I cut this cute tree and this little tree. And then also two of the flying deer. So one's going to go here, and the other one's going to kind of go back here, and you'll see as I glue those on how they get glued on. And then I also die cut 2 trees, just white trees, and they come actually with the snow globe die. So they're going to go on either side, and then this is just going to go across the bottom here, and then that's going to be my front panel. So I'm going to get all of this glued on. So how cute is this? I absolutely love it with those little feet. All right, so now our project, our book that we made together is just going to go in here, just like this. And that is going to finish it off. I absolutely love this project, and I want to thank Rosa Kelly so much for letting me work with her absolutely gorgeous new collection, Santa Love. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and the cutting guide will be linked below to my Etsy shop, and the dies that I used will be linked below as well. So again, thank you so much for joining me for this, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.